Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus again. You know, there's something that's been on my mind all day, and while I've brought several posts today, I don't think I mentioned this specifically, and that it is rough being poor. Yes, I know we think about people running from their own country, like the people that are outside the borders at in Texas. I understand they're being shuttled back to Haiti. People who are coming from all these other countries because of all the other kind of major problems that exist in these countries. Consider we've been lucky to say that because we had a system in play, it wasn't a righteous system, but it was a system that was better than the other systems where these people are running from. And I understand the system has been maintained for quite some time. A lot of people have gone through a lot of suffering, but for some strange reason, it was a little bit better. Or maybe it was just not our time. Because right now, it appears as though the challenge for America is right now. Because there are people who have, I guess, that's committed themselves that they were going to do whatever they possibly can to take away whatever America has been using as this thing that puts her on the heel. And what they are doing is causing America to doubt herself. To doubt herself because everyone knows that America has also lived somewhat a lie. And now you're getting additional lies. So you're being challenged by lies. Lies you like or lies you don't like. But all lies. That can be a confusing situation. But for a person who is poor, it's always the same. It never changes. A person that is poor got to be a jack of all things. You know, you were made to enjoy life, to have a skill, a talent, to have a career, to engage yourself in the process of life and enjoy life. Enjoy your labor. Enjoy the fruits of your labor. But being poor, you got to pay the same price that everybody has to pay with money. And yet the things that you require to have done, just like people with money have to have done, they can, you can't, because you don't have money. So you got to be a painter, you got to be a plumber, you got to be a carpenter, you got to be a mechanic, you got to be a lawnmower, you got to be able to fix the washing machines, everything you got to be able to do. Wow. But they say you're good if you can learn all these things and do all these things. And yet, I know that that's part of the ripoff. And I sit here, ladies and gentlemen, feeling the same pain that all poor people feel, understanding as well that many poor people wish they only suffered the little amount of poverty that I feel. But I know one thing, ladies and gentlemen, if they want this work that I do, ooh, I'd be so glad that I wouldn't be alone. You see, what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen, is to inform you that you have not been taught the beautiful truth of life. You have been taught even about your spiritual part of life from a book that no one can really give credence to except what they believe. And the result of it is that rather than being one to guide the nation from its ugliness to its beautiful, it's just a part of the ugliness. Not intending to be that way, but that's just the way it is. It is that way because it has been accepted as normal. It has always been that way since its beginning. But it doesn't have to be that way. People have recognized their past, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to listen. Listen to me. Let me take this time and help you. Life can be wonderful, and life can be hell. Right now, life is wonderful for a lot of people. Life is fake wonderful for a lot of people. People who party all the time, people who try to get dressed up and be pretty all the time just for the sake of being pretty, people who wants to get drunk a lot, people who get high a lot, people who just run their mouths a lot. They do these things because they're missing out in life. Some of them have a lot of sex. Some of them, whatever games are being, that you can imagine being played, are being played. You know this. But what I want you to know is that you don't have to be. Listen. Now, there is a system set up in America. We are quite aware of it. And the way the system is set up, we have dedicated ourselves to follow this system. This system is supposedly designed to keep a portion of order, to keep the people from being chaotic and being like some of these other nations we say people are running from. It's designed to give us a measure of liberty based upon our proclamation about the living spiritual God. Now, some of us believe that with all of our heart, and we give God credit by saying thank God, but we don't give God service because we don't know what kind of service God requires of us, because we have been told that our works, Jesus nullified a need for that by taking care of everything for us. And so we've accepted that as a compromise, or accept that as an excuse. But if we had and understood that the work of the people of God is to do the work of God, you know, every wonderful thing that God did for you, that you know was a miracle, God did it for you. You know it was a miracle. God expects those who are led by the love of God, the Spirit of God, to perform miracles to others. Now that doesn't mean to be magical, but that means to engage yourself, to insert yourself, to be involved in other situations that it becomes so much easier to them. And when you really get it on, then it's no problem because it's resolved, it's solved in the plan. So I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, the systems we live under, they have served their purpose up to now. The problem of it from now on is that we have gotten a chance to see what it really is like. I mean, we might have accepted it all our lives a certain kind of way. And we all have accepted it a certain kind of way. But in the past several years, we've gotten a chance to see America as America really is. As we who live here in America, black, people of color, and white people, we have gotten a chance to see America as America really is. We always knew America had a measure of evil in it. Hey, each of us got evil in us, a measure. So yes, we know our nation had a measure of evil in it. But we never imagined that our nation has as much evil in it as it has. It has shown all of us that it has enough evil in it to destroy all of us for the sake of someone else who spews its evil about and amongst them. Wow. So since we see America as it really is, then we know that where America comes from is not too much better, because People are treated as second-class citizens. There's poverty, there's crime, there's violence, there's a few people doing okay, there's lying and racism. Oh, no, that's not good enough. So in order to get rid of that stuff, we got to do the right things. We got to do the plan of God. Now, what does that mean? Listen to me, ladies and gentlemen, sisters and brothers, all over the world, especially here in America. God made this earth and God put you on it. And God prepared that you would need and require certain things to survive on this earth as He would have you do. That is, that your needs, your wants, and your desires would be met. Now that would include, my friends, all of those things that are coming amongst you for your basic survival, which includes but not limited to food, clothing, shelter, education, health care, transportation, infrastructure, and all of the things that you can imagine that are essential for the survival of mankind or the pleasure of mankind. All of that. And having this resources made available to you and having these desires and needs as you have determined them. Now, each of you having the opportunity to choose a career that gives you your greatest joy, that allows you to engage yourself in the participation of life. You are here doing something that's welcome, doing something that's needed and wanted. The whole of society is your friend, is your support base, and you are giving and receiving. And through this process, there is peace and prosperity and freedom and joy of life and the fulfillment of everyone's dream. You're having your needs met, your wants met, and your desires met. That is by practicing a different principle than what we have set. We have set a principle that causes us to do all the things that we've done